All right, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys had a great week. Definitely was very good. I mean, big swings on both sides, definitely a lot of volatility. Just take a look at what happened on Wednesday when the market dropped to 540 to fill a gap and ran 240 points. I mean, 230 points at the highs since Wednesday. But this week's headline: S&P 500 gains, all right, over 3%. NASDAQ gains over roughly under 5%. Nvidia up about 18-19% as I record this video. And of course, guys, all eyes on Powell next week, the most anticipated rate cut in history. And certainly the market has exhibited no fear this week. After last week's big drawdown, the market has pretty much recovered all of its losses. So so for the month of September, it's virtually flat at this point. But I wanted to bring your attention to this house of cards game that the market is playing with Nvidia. All right. So as you know, Nvidia is up 20% this week, nearly 20% this week. And also the fact that, I mean, most of your gains from the S&P 500 is basically just off Nvidia alone. On Wednesday alone, guys, that massive gain was 44% of S&P 500 returns on that day alone. And that worries me, and I've been kind of saying this for the last several weeks now. These kind of statistic is what's worrisome and can represent a bubble effect. Okay, this whole tech bubble, but we'll see. I still like the stock. I like the fundamentals of the company. I'm not trying to be here and cry wolf or cry panic. However, I don't know how long this kind of movement, 220 points on the index over 2 days, just because of Nvidia, or is it because we're just running into the FOMC event? All right. So I want to give you that statistic. And also, of course, on the NASDAQ, it was 27% of Wednesday's gain. So next week, all eyes on Powell. On Wednesday, 2 p.m., FOMC statement. Powell will either give us a 25 basis point rate hike, a rate cut, or it's going to be a 50 basis rate cut. And right now, the market is pretty split. 51% says 25%, 25 basis points, and 49% at 50 basis point. Now, the decision, whatever it may be, there's two scenarios that I've been talking about. 25 basis points, I think the market goes a little bit higher and eventually comes back down. A 50 basis rate cut will signal worries and a major drawdown. So I want you guys to be prepared. All right. So let's take a look at the chart for next week. But first, let's talk about this accumulation box here. So as you know, back in August, we've been in this box here. All right. And we once it broke down, we had a measured move of 547 and actually went to 537, which was your July lows here. And it absolutely ripped faces because this was an inverse head and shoulder pattern over the course of this week. So you can see after that last week dip here all the way down to 547 on the first thing on Monday morning, they ripped it straight up, and it's been going for the last 5 days here. So it was a really clean setup, and we've been playing it all along here. And so we're back into this box. So I do think that it may be Monday, Tuesday, I do think the market goes a little bit higher, but I want to kind of give you guys my estimate for next week. So the first upside target next week is 565.70, and that'll probably take us into the decision at the FOMC. If it is a 50 basis rate cut, all right, I do expect a major leg down. All right, it'll be a wave one down. A wave one down will take us possibly to my downside target of 542 next week. This entire move has been very impulsive and has created a lot of imbalance below the market. So I do expect that these imbalances are going to get taken out. If we go back to my ABC wave chart, all right, the B wave, all right, this is a zigzag pattern, all right, Elliott wave theory. If this continues up, all right, it will complete the wave B, and you should start seeing a wave, a five-wave structure down, and this will be the C wave. And the C wave typically, according to the Elliott wave theory, goes a lot further down or further below the wave A, which is the 508. So I do expect by the time fall comes around, October, that this structure here is going to play itself out. So you will get bounces here and there off moving averages. So my downside target for fall is actually closer to 500 below this wave A. But my next week target, the first target, is actually 542, which could come in a rather fast manner. This has been a kind of a very rapid ascension in the market, and there needs to be some pullback. So I think that there's going to be a lot of selling the news. I do think that Wall Street is going to panic a little bit and take us down. So upside target next week is 565. Downside target is 542. I hope you guys have a great week.